I'm 46, and here are 21 things I wish I knew before I got in shape. Number 1, stop doing cardio to burn fat. Here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. Cardio is an incredibly inefficient way to lose fat. First off, your body adapts to it super fast, which means the more you do, the fewer calories you burn. This is not even mentioning the increase in appetite that you will experience as a result of doing more cardio. And if you push it too far, you can start chipping away at muscle and increase your chances at overuse injuries. Now, here's the part people never consider. If you use cardio as your main fat loss strategy, you have to keep doing the same amount of cardio or more forever to maintain it. So if you lost 20 pounds by running miles you didn't even enjoy, congratulations, you just signed up for a lifetime subscription. You can absolutely lose weight with cardio, but if you hate it and you're forcing yourself to do it, you're going to guarantee burnout, stall fat loss, and increased frustration. Number 2, a pound of muscle burns anywhere between 4 to 7 calories a day. Now, if you want to burn fat in your sleep, build muscle. And a great way to do this is what I call the 2S method. So most people train with way too much junk volume and nowhere near enough recovery. The 2S method fixes that by stripping workouts down to just 2 high-quality sets per exercise, training the full body 2 to 4 times per week. This matches how your physiology actually works. When you're training for hypertrophy, stimulus fades within 36 to 48 hours, but most people wait around 5 to 7 days to train the same muscle again. And also, high volume creates fatigue, not better results. 2 precise, intense sets maximize motor unit recruitment, mechanical tension, and metabolic output without burning you out. Combine that with higher frequency, and you get better strength, more muscle, and far more consistency. And the 2S method rests on 5 pillars, which is signal over volume, frequency over fatigue, precision over randomness, intensity over exhaustion, and efficiency over ego. 30 to 40 minutes, full body, and you're done. Next, if you want to build muscle, you need to learn progressive overload. I remember talking to someone at the gym, and I was impressed because this person was doing 275 pounds on the bench press. So I went up to him and I asked him, "How did you get so strong?" And what he told me was simple but profound. Every week, I go to the gym and then try to add either more weight or more reps, and I've been doing this over the past 10 years. And this is the exact opposite of what people are doing in the gym. First off, they keep on switching their workouts every single time they go, not giving themselves enough time to progress. Next, when they're in the gym, they don't push hard enough or even track their workouts to know they're making progress. So there are 12 different ways to progressively overload your body. I'm not going to go into them right now. I'm going to leave a link in the description below of an article that I created that lists them all out. Number 4, the goal is not getting a six-pack. The goal is to have a level of body fat that's avoidant of preventable disease. When I was first trying to get in shape, I was going after the holy grail of getting a six-pack, and guess what? I got it. But something I realized was that the life that I would have to live in order to maintain that level of leanness was not sustainable or even enjoyable. Now, the body fat that you want to be aiming for is what I call the Goldilocks range. You don't want too much and you don't want too little. You want to have the right amount. For guys, that's going to be anywhere between 12 to 15%. For women, that's going to be anywhere between 20 to 25%. Number 5, when you want a lean body, you got to follow the Golden Trifecta. So calories determine how much you weigh. Macronutrients determine your body composition. Micronutrients determine your health, mood, and energy. You want to combine all 3 as part of your nutrition plan so you're not only getting lean, you're also feeling amazing while doing it. Number 6, the biggest obstacle I see people make when they're trying to follow a healthy diet is thinking that you need to be perfect when healthy eating is actually a ratio. You want to get around 80 to 90% of your calories from whole single ingredient nutrient-dense foods and 10 to 20% from whatever the you want. This not only makes the diet healthy, but it also makes it fun and something that you can do for the rest of your life. Number 7, what you eat has a tremendous effect on your mental health. Food scientist Julia Ruckledge took a group of adults suffering from severe stress and mood issues after a natural disaster. Instead of medication, she gave them micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals in precise doses, and the results were shocking. The people who took the nutrients recovered faster, had fewer PTSD symptoms, and showed better emotional stability than those given standard care. You have to understand that what you put into your body can literally reshape how your brain responds response to life. Food follows mood, and if you are feeling any type of mental health issue, look no further than your diet. Number 8, eat at least 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight to build and maintain muscle. When I was trying to get myself into photo shoot ready shape, I achieved it, but one of the biggest mistakes was not emphasizing protein enough. It came to a head when I did a DEXA scan, and it showed that while I was cutting, I lost around 3 pounds of lean mass. Even though I was working out, the DEXA specialist asked me, have you been eating enough protein? And when I'm with clients, I like to set a floor and a ceiling when it comes to protein. So the floor is going to be set at 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. The ceiling is going to be set at 1 gram per pound of body weight. And for me, that's the ideal, especially when someone is cutting. So don't sleep on protein. It's going to help you keep your muscle and even build it. And muscle is the engine of your metabolism. You want to keep that healthy. Number 9. Volumize your meals with vegetables and water to make you feel fuller. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make, especially when it comes to their food, is not volumizing it enough with fibrous vegetables. In fact, when we're advising our clients on their diets, we tell them to have unlimited green cruciferous vegetables along with their meals. That means broccoli, Brussels sprouts, you name it. And the cool thing is we don't even get them to track their calories when they're adding these vegetables in because they're so low calorie. But they're great because they feel like you are eating something substantial. Also, with the amount of fiber that they contain, they make people feel fuller to the point where they don't even feel like they need to open the fridge after they're done eating. Number 10. A diet is meant to be a lifestyle. I remember I was talking about a diet on Instagram and someone said, don't use the word diet. It's such a toxic word. Well, the word diet is actually the Greek word dieta, which actually means way of life. So something you have to understand is that any diet that gets you lean and helps you lose weight does so through a calorie deficit. So if you can't see yourself just eating meat for the rest of your life and becoming a carnivore,
3 ounces of liver, fresh sashimi style testicle.
Don't do it. If you can't see yourself cutting carbs for the rest of your life, don't do it. Choose a diet that best fits your lifestyle and one that you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life. 11. Losing weight is the easy part. Keeping it off is the most important part of all. So when people think that they're losing weight and they get to this ultimate weight loss goal that they set, they think they've arrived when the reality is that they have just started on the path of the most important journey of all. And they just don't realize it. The emphasis needs to be put on setting new and higher goals and actually keeping the weight off. Because what is the point of losing the weight if you're just going to put it back on in the first place? And I could talk about this all day, but I actually created a video on the 6 scientific principles to keeping the weight off that you can check out over here. Number 12, don't avoid carbs. Use them to your advantage by timing them. And the best time to eat carbs is around effort. Eating most of them before or after training, when your muscles are primed to use glucose for power and recovery, is the best time to do it. And what you can do afterwards is keep the rest of your day lower carb to stabilize energy and appetite. So front load for performance, refuel for growth. That's the way to eat carbs. Number 13, it sounds simple, but if you're gaining weight, you're in a calorie surplus. If you're losing weight, it's because you're in a deficit. Something you have to know is that the vast majority of people dramatically underreport how much they eat. Research shows that most people underestimate their calorie intake by 20 to 50%, sometimes by even more. And it's not lying, it's just blind spots. It's the forgotten snacks, the small bites, the mismeasured portions. This is why people say, oh, I've been eating 1,200 calories, but I can't lose weight. Bullshit. You're literally eating too many calories. You're just not tracking it properly. Number 14, stop eating before you go to sleep. One of the biggest reasons people gain weight is because they eat right before they go to sleep. And it usually has nothing to do with the fact that they're hungry. And it has everything to do with the fact that they've trained themselves to eat before bed. And they've also been leaning into their cravings. Late night meals spike glucose, raise body temperature, and force digestion when your body should be repairing. This ends up disrupting sleep, increasing nighttime awakenings, and worsening your hunger and energy the next day. I have a hard rule in my life to stop eating by 6 p.m. because I'm going to bed by 9:30 or 10. And what you should be doing is using the system that I'm about to be talking about next. So number 15 is to put your hunger and body on autopilot by using the chrono eating system. This means eating a high protein meal 1 to 2 hours upon waking, having your final meal at least 3 to 5 hours before you go to sleep, and putting a midday meal in between, no snacking. And what chrono eating does is it lines up your meals with your circadian rhythms to stabilize your hunger, boost your energy, and support fat loss. Number 16, stop eating like you stole your food. One of my biggest mistakes is that every time you would put a meal in front of me, I would do two things. Number one is I would distract myself with a phone while I was eating. Number two is I would eat my food so fast like I stole it from someone. So when I became an adult, I had to adopt a practice of eating slow because doing this gives your brain time to register fullness. It cuts overeating and it also improves digestion and lowers stress. Each time I put a bite of food into my mouth, I put my utensils down and I make sure to bite it at least 20 to 30 times. Yes, in the beginning, this is tedious, but once you get used to it, you actually realize that you were swallowing huge globs of food into your stomach without properly biting it first. Slow eating is one of the simplest, highest ROI habits that you can build. Start doing this now. Number 17, track your damn KPIs. What are KPIs? KPIs are key performance indicators. It's a term that we use when growing our business, and it's the same ones we should be using when it comes to our bodies. So as you know, we coach entrepreneurs, executives, and professionals, helping them get in shape. Now, there's always one question we ask them. Okay, how often do you track your sales or revenue? And they would always say, every single day. One person actually said to me like multiple times a day. And then we ask them, how often do you track your weight? And then they would give us this sheepish look because they hadn't tracked their weight in months and sometimes years. My life changed when I committed to a process of weighing myself every single day, regardless of wherever I was and regardless of however I felt. And the reason I do this is because number one, it exposes me to the ups and downs you're going to experience with weight loss. Some days you're going to be up, some days you're going to be down, and what you're looking for is a steady trend. It also helps me understand what happens to my weight after I eat certain meals. So if I end up eating a little bit more carbs than usual, it doesn't mean that I'm gaining fat the next day, even though the scale jumps up. It means that I'm retaining water, but I would not know this if I didn't have the data and have the balls to track it in the first place. So when it comes to your health, you have to be diligent in tracking your KPIs because if you don't track, you don't care. 18. Don't eat until you're stuffed. Eat until you're not hungry anymore. The Japanese have a philosophy called hara hachibu, which means eating until 80% fullness. It prevents calorie overload, improves digestion, and keeps your energy stable. And this is one of the many reasons why people in Okinawa not only stay lean and healthy, but they have the world's highest density of centenarians. Your body was not meant to eat food until your belt buckle starts to go up a notch. When you're eating food, keep on asking yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I in fullness? And be okay with stopping eating when you're at 80%. 19. After you're done a meal, don't lie down, don't sit, take a 10-minute walk. At the time of doing this video, I'm living in Vietnam, so I don't have access to my under-the-desk treadmill. So after I'm done a meal, I know it sounds silly, but I'm taking a walk around my dinner table.
What?
And I do this especially when it's raining outside, because sitting down after a meal is horrible. When you sit down or lie down after a meal, it slows digestion, increases acid reflux, and blunts your glucose control. Doing a simple 10-minute walk will help you keep the food moving, lower blood sugar, improve energy, and help prevent fat gain. It's one of the easiest metabolic cheat codes that you can use daily. Number 20, sleep is the lead domino for recovery, energy, appetite control. Make it a priority. I was talking with a client, and one of the things that we did with them was just get him 1 extra hour of sleep a night because every single night he was getting 5 to 6 hours. And this was one of the most game-changing things he did for controlling his energy and appetite the next day. You have to understand that you're going to sleep for about a third of your life, so you might as well learn how to make it great. And I created a free sleep guide that teaches you the protocols that we use to help our clients transform their sleep quality. Subscribe to the channel and make sure that you comment below sleep and I'll send it to you. And the final lesson is the old you must die for the new you to live. The number one mistake I see people make when it comes to getting themselves lean and in shape is that they focus way too much on the outcome when they should be focusing on the person they're becoming. And you want to make the idea of weight loss or getting lean irrelevant as a result of the person that you are and the behaviors you have. So when I had my second child, I got completely out of shape, and you can actually check that out at this picture over here. And it was just old programming coming back to haunt me. So when I decided to get myself back to a healthy body fat level, I didn't approach it from a rational or logical sense. I approached it from a sense of creating a new identity. This means having a new belief system, a new way of looking things. And I would always go back to, what would this version of Dan do in this situation? And this took so much pressure off of me. So I didn't care about whether or not I would get in shape in 90 days, 16 weeks, 6 months. or whatever, because the process of changing your identity is long term and you have to take time with these things. You have to understand that you have to be willing to give yourself that time to form a new identity. So it's not enough to set a goal. You have to become the goal. And that means creating an entirely new identity. And because of that new identity, I keep my body fat at my healthy levels easily and effortlessly. And it's not because I'm expending a lot of effort or using my willpower. It's just a basic outcome of who I became. Now, I'm sure I have more, but I'm going to stop right there. Something you should know about the process of getting yourself in shape is that when you get this handled and you figure this out, everything in your life will get better. I also promise you that you will see weaknesses in yourself that you would not see unless you are going through this process. Getting in shape is a spiritual process that's disguised as a physical one. And if you want to learn a little bit more about what that means, I did a complete podcast interview with one of my friends, Josh Trent, and you can check it out at this video over here. See you over there.